Hello, Virgo. We're doing a reading today, and with the recent solar flare, everyone pretty much got a burst of energy and a major download. So it's an opportunity to really change something in your life, and we're going to be taking a look at that. We'll look at what's coming in, what can support you in helping you make this transition if you choose to, and we'll also be looking at through the oracle cards what you can expect from this change. Now, you can pick, we're going to do 3 groups because each sign is divided into 3 deacons, which is each 10 degrees of your zodiac sign is a different deacon. And I will explain that in a little more detail, but the timestamps will all be below. If you want to choose your pile just based on the charms, that's totally fine. Do what you're guided to do. Pile number 1 is the starfish. Pile number 2 is the cat. Pile number 3 is an angel. And I've already turned over the first card for each group, but I'll also let you know if you want to choose by your deacon and really narrow down into your sign of Virgo, the groups are broken apart to the first 10 degrees, which is the first deacon, and those are the birth dates between about August 24th through September 3rd. And each deacon has a sub-ruling sign, but the first sign is always the subruler is the main sign. So you're a Virgo. If you are in the second deacon, the second 10 degrees, born between about September 4th and the 13th, then you're pile number 2 in the second deacon, and you would be Virgo as your primary, and you actually have a subruling sign of Capricorn. And the third group here is going to be for those born September 14th through the 22nd. And you would have a subruling sign of Taurus. So for those of you with subrulers, you might even want to check out the signs for your subrulers. Other than that, I'll let you pick your pile however you feel guided to pick. And then we'll get into this big download and change that's coming through for you. Hello, Group 1 Virgo. You either chose by the starfish or what you saw of this card here, or you chose by your astrological deacon, which is the first deacon, August 24th through September 3rd. And you are a Virgo. So with this particular deck, I don't normally take the words. We usually work with the images. This is the past life oracle. And I've already pulled this and a couple of tarot cards from the Light Seers Tarot. So we have the father figure, which we can kind of cover that there. And I'm really immediately getting a message of incorporating the childhood you had with the adulthood that you're in now. Almost a parenting of yourself. So we'll take a look at what cards came out. We have the Page of Wands here. We have the Two of Pentacles, and we have the World. Okay. And this really does seem like there is something from your early years that it just isn't. It's a belief that you developed, a way of how do I word that? A way of doing things that you were taught you were supposed to be this way, things were supposed to be done this way as a youth, and you're in a position of like, this is as you're oh my God, I'm just stumbling over words. This is with this Two of Pentacles here, it's sort of like she's just the person in the picture is just so struggling. It's like this old belief, this old thing from the youth is just not fitting into adult life. And the challenge is to not just balance it out and I heard when I said that, it is a matter of balancing it out, but it's a balancing it into a neutral space rather than it being a domineering force or a bad memory or something. It's the challenge now is to balance out something from the past so that you have a different future, and it's one that you're more in alignment with. So we're looking at a lot of the energies that have come through for the signs have been to push away something from the past and be able to step into a new place. So this is heading into something new. We're going to get some clarifiers. And let's see. This is the deck. I hand grabbed this. This isn't usually the deck that I've been using to clarify with this. Well, we're getting some interesting cards from Spirit today. Okay, we have the You're Never Alone card. This is just our reminder card that with this solar flare that came in, everyone's getting a boost in support from Spirit and from their guides. A lot of people are getting extra guides to support them if they decide they want to make a change in their life right now. It is a timeless reading, so even if you don't catch this on the solar flare, we periodically get these downloads and energy boosts and extra guides, so don't worry. This is something Spirit's just letting you know you're not alone. You are supported in this. We have Swan Spirit here. Time for a deep dive. And this is really, I think, talking about looking into the past, looking into yourself and seeing which outdated beliefs do you have that are limiting your ability to grow and be productive in the world as it is right now. If you hear strange sounds in the background, my dog's over there wanting attention, so she's trying to be all giggly and cute. Okay. You have number 6, Beaver Spirit here, which is lay a solid foundation. And I do think this is something about you're really trying to step into the next phase of your life. And that can be in anything. That can be age-related, that can be career-related, that could be relationship, whatever part that resonates with you. And you're being called and you're being given assistance to really lay down a better foundation than perhaps you had when you were a child, or the foundation that you've been working with. This isn't, I don't have a tower coming out. I don't really see the tower. I was thinking of that real quick. I don't see this as a tower moment. This is like a choice. You have to restructure things. And I'm being told, like, make repairs, like as if you look at the concrete foundation of a house. There's some cracks in the concrete, and it's a matter of going in and filling in those cracks and setting everything down so that you can build better upon it. We have Badger Spirit, which is be fearless and bold. And this is going to take some courage. It is some changing. Anytime you have to break away from old belief systems or what other people have instructed you is how you're supposed to do things, you need to be a bit brave and bold. I'm going to give the dog a little attention here. So, okay, come here. Come here. Don't make me pause the video. Okay. You gonna hush? You gonna hush? Okay. Anyway, anytime that you are making these changes, there's always other people that will say don't, because they're still fixed in their ways. And just because others want to stay fixed in their ways, it doesn't mean you have to. So it does take some courage to be able to do that. And we have Dragonfly Spirit. Truth transcends illusions. And this is just another confirmation back to looking at, like, what are just, they're kind of myths. They're like, does that really hold up in how I have to live my life? And let me get my dog. Hold on. Okay. Sorry about that. Truth transcends illusion is really saying that some of these beliefs, they're just, for some of you, you might have some fears about things happening, or what if you do this and what if you do that? And you're going to find out there was nothing to be afraid of. There was just nothing to be afraid of there. And for others of you, it's like you're looking at things and you're really going inside and listening to your higher self and going, wait a second, why am I abiding by this weird rule that I have to live this way? It's just an illusion that that's how it's supposed to be. So that's a big transition. You do have 14, the chameleon spirit, act as if. So as you're doing this change, it might not feel like you really fit in this new role that you're stepping into, and you're going to be feeling like it might have that imposter syndrome for a little bit. It might not feel like everything's the right size for you yet, but you'll be getting it to fit. But you will have a period of time during this transition where you're going to kind of have to do it even though it doesn't fit quite yet, because I'm being told you're going to be able to get the measurements and get everything to the right size eventually. But if you don't try it on first, you're not going to know what adjustments you need to make so that you can make it fit specifically to you. Now we're going to pull some advice cards, and then we'll get to the outcome, and we're going to close it out with a card from the Oracle Wisdom. Just some advice here from, we're supposed to take these two. Okay. You do have at the bottom, the end of a tough cycle approaches with full moon in Capricorn. So that's, for some of you, you are transitioning out of a difficult cycle. And it does say the answers you need are coming and prosperity lies ahead. So you have two very, comforting advice cards, is to keep remembering, I just heard eyes on the prize. Remember why you're making this change is going to be so valuable in order to get you through the difficult moments of the change. I'm being drawn right here to the World card. Keep that picture in your mind. Always be able to visualize that, even when it feels like what you're doing is it just doesn't fit yet. You've got to remember everything's a little uncomfortable, even good change. Even when something new comes in, anything new is always going to feel a little uncomfortable at first because we are adjusting to it. And for some of you, you're still looking for answers on how to do this, what to do, which direction. You're not 100% sure. You haven't figured out everything, and that's okay. What you're being reminded here from Spirit is that as you go along, more and more answers will arrive. Just because you don't have an answer to every single question right now does not mean you can't be moving in the direction that your higher self is guiding you. You can find more answers as you travel this path. Can we get a little bit more in the advice, please? Spirit, a little more advice for Virgo here. I'm just going to take, I see these three cards, so we're going to take these three. And we have the Shaman, trust in higher forces. A reminder here, like I was saying, this is a time period where there's a lot of extra energy, a lot of extra support, more guides coming in. So you can rely that Spirit is helping you, and be sure to tap into that. However you do that, if it's through meditations, prayers, whatever you do, to kind of connect with your higher self, connect with Spirit, and have faith that you are stepping through this process right now and making this change right now with the support of Spirit. And it's wise one. Grow within your current situation. And this is, start where you are. Just start where you are and grow. And for some of you, what I'm getting is you can't make a major change right now, but this is a gradual growth that's going to be happening. And I have a feeling that's really, for most of you, that's what this is. It's not going to be all different next week. You're not going to have all the answers next week. It's going to take a gradual, steady process. And I'm being told to mention that since I'm doing this with the solar flare energy, the solar cycle is about 11 years, and at the end of the 11-year period is when we usually get these big solar flares. So, you're looking at 11 weeks, 11 months to have this energy and this change spread out. This isn't an 11-year thing, but I'm being told what you're doing right now is going to set you up for what's to come for another decade or so. For what you do this year is going to set you up for the next 10 years of how your life is going to be. And for some reason, Spirit just wanted to say is do you want to spend another decade the way things have been? Or do you want another decade? You want a decade where you're in alignment with your higher self? Because what's coming in, everyone has a choice, either to do this or to not do this. You always have free will. Just because Spirit sends in extra energy and guides does not mean they're going to force you to do it. You have to choose to do it. So it was very important to point out to some of you that, this is like a compare. Do you want to spend the next 10 decade, the next decade, the next 10 years, the way you spent it the last 10 years? And if you don't want to do that, you want to change it, this is a great time to change it. And it'll be a gradual course of changes throughout this coming year. And a growth. And we have the seer card, which is see beyond the current situation, which we already talked about. Keep that eyes on the prize. Keep visualizing where you're headed. Pay attention to where you are in each step of the journey, but always keep in your mind where you want to be going. And Druid, which is hold the space. And that's really, when I get that card, that's my set your boundaries and make choices as to what you're going to let into your space. What energies are you going to allow in? What energies are you going to see? I'm not taking any more of that anymore. Just that doesn't serve my highest good, and maybe that doesn't serve anybody's highest good. So I'm not taking that into my energetic space anymore. So holding the space is holding your energetic space and choosing what you're going to allow into it and what you're not going to allow in. Okay, let's move on to, say you take up the challenge and you utilize all of these amazing resources that Spirit is providing for you right now. And I'm looking at this again, and it's just almost like you're reaching out. There is that support from your higher self. You're reaching out and holding on. It's I'm going to walk with you, Spirit, to get to this new place. You're going to grow. Okay. What can Virgo expect to see when they go and they opt for this better next decade? Inner power. Oh my gosh, what a wonderful card. I was called to the bottom of the deck too. I'm just going to read this one real quick. And it's sacred waters. Drunken by the swell of the sea, I can feel the blanket of her embrace, unafraid of the presence, releasing the cords. I call her in, I call her deeply within. And, whatever pronouns you use, don't worry, you can alter what the card says to fit the pronouns that work for you. And Sacred Waters is really calling in not just spirit, but really calling in your higher self and being able to feel surrounded. And we have this holding your space. Imagine your own energy, this higher self energy, all within you and actually flowing all around. So that's beautiful. Inner power was the outcome card here, and it says, let it be known, no will or desire is more powerful than I embodied. So this is really a path of embodiment. It definitely is. You're staking your claim to your sovereignty of spirit and your energetic field, what's going to be allowed in, what's not. You're choosing the calling of your higher path from your higher self and from spirit. So beautiful, so beautiful. Just gonna get, if there's anything from the Shaman Oracles for Virgo. Oof, that wanted to fly away. What wants to fly away? Straddling worlds, wandering between realms. Okay, and this did fly away, and the reason it was flying away to the past is just to say, once you've gotten through this period of straddling worlds, it's going to pass. And I'm sorry to be moving the cards real fast. That might make you a little dizzy. But this straddling worlds, this wandering between where your current situation is, how you've always lived your life, and trying to step into this new place, it's going to drift out and go and be gone. I'm going to put it way over here because that's what. Is there anything else, Spirit? Or one more card wants to come out. 57, Revelation, the unmarked trail. And I just heard, you will not be afraid to travel any trail, any path. Once you've gone through this process, made this shift, you will have the strength and the inner knowing and the inner trust and the trust in spirit to be able to embark on other paths in your life and not feel so uncomfortable with those changes, because you've been able to go through such a beautiful transformation here, even though, like I said, it is a growth process, and it's not going to happen overnight. But the fact that you were willing to go through this whole process is going to give you this ability to embark on new journeys and new paths as they come with so much better, so much easier is the way to say that. All right, well, let's just get one more card to close this out for you. Spirit, we have one closing card. I feel like this card wants to come out. Treasure Island. That's where you're headed. And it is the turtle in the water. So it's the sea turtle. So it's still a slow path. It's not a quick moving thing, but your treasures. And I'm being reminded to tell you that all of your treasures that you're trying to move towards, you already have them with you. This is a process of also opening up to recognize how much you have energetically and spiritually to treasure already with you. And I think that's it. I don't know. Yeah, I'm looking at the bottom of the deck, and it's by the book. There's things that you've been doing just by the book, and that's what's really coming to an end. You're going to do things by what aligns with you rather than some random rules and regulations. And I'm not saying you're going to be breaking rules or any kind of laws or anything like that. It's not that kind of a thing. It's just kind of those weird little customary things that just don't even really apply anywhere, but yet somehow we pick them up and we think we have to live by them. Those are going away, definitely. That you're heading to your treasure island, and you're heading to where you always have your treasure with you, and your higher self is your treasure. Okay, I don't know what else to say there, Virgo. It really looks fantastic. It's going to be a time period, it may take you a year to get through this process, but it is so worth it. Always keep your eye and vision in your mind where you're headed, and you'll get there. You've definitely got support and extra guides to do it. So if that resonated, go ahead, give the video a like. Let me know in the comments, and hopefully I will see you in another reading. Hello, group 2 for Virgo. You either chose by the cat charm or by your Deacon, which is 10 to 20 degrees of Virgo, or roughly September 4th through the 13th as a birth date. Now, you do have a subsign of Capricorn, so if you feel called to check out the Capricorn reading, go for that. If not, just do what feels right for you. The first card we have here, and we're looking at what the solar flare brought in to help you make a change. And I was sitting down to go do this, and it's like, here's your opportunity if you choose to accept it. And if you're catching this at another time away from the solar flare, these energy boosts do come in periodically throughout our lives. It's not just with the solar flare. So we have that, and I'm really seeing, like, it's kind of like in the forest, like, there's a dream out there somewhere, and some of you just seem to be starting to see the light, but not necessarily 100% where the direction to go is. And if you've seen my readings before, I do take a little while to draw in and connect with all of the different energies. So if something doesn't resonate immediately, hang in there a little bit, and we'll see. You might find something in here that is definitely for you. Okay, let's see. The cards that came out from the Light Seers Tarot, we have the Seven of Cups. So I'm really getting a feeling of, like, it is the forest. There's so many trees. Excuse my voice. There's so many options. Which one is the right one? We have the Six of Wands. And then we also have the Knight of Wands. And what's coming in on this is I'm being told Spirit is coming in right now to help you make this decision, to pick one of these paths. Some of you may have been kind of trying to feel like, which way is your calling? Where do you go next? Is now the right time to change? But if I changed something, where would I go? There's a sense of, there's been a confusion as to where you can find your happiness, where you should take that next step. And the energy that's coming in is to help you do that. We're going to get some clarifiers. My hand went here, so we're going to get this. And I just saw the Citadel deck. Am I supposed to pull something from there first, or just... Yeah, I'm being told to grab something from the Citadel first. At the bottom of the deck, we have Cartographer, which is a crossroads and exploration. So this really, for a lot of you, this is an opportunity to map out a new path forward. Let's see. One card, Spirit. Can we get some cards for group number 2, Virgo? The second Deacon of Virgo, please. Is there anything else from here that you have to show us one more time? Okay, thank you, Spirit. We do have communication and confidence at the bottom, the orator. So that may be something that's kind of a little hidden for you, is your ability to really communicate. And I just heard with that, there's 2 ways it goes. The ability to communicate to others what you want to do. Some of you are in a situation where you're trying to explain stuff and you just can't find the right words, and people really aren't understanding what you're trying to explain, and say, like, I'm trying to figure this out and I might want to do that, and they may be looking at you a little confused. The other part of this for some of you is that the internal communication, it's just, you kind of not quite sure how to find within you and with your higher self that direct connection. And that's kind of been the situation going on. And for other you, it's like, okay, Spirit, but wait, should I do this or should I do that? And you're not really sure which signs to follow. So we've got a couple more cards to clarify. We have the Guide, Inheritance and Correction. And this was in reverse. Okay. So this would be upright. Which way do you want me to take these? Because I feel like this is the way they want them to go. Okay, the change here is to let you know the guide. Yes, we're getting this for really all of the signs with this energy coming in, is you have extra guides with you. And they're going to help you course correct the direction in your life. Use the gifts that you were given to bring in. We have the adventure. I got to turn this around for a second just so we can all see. It's like the hand reaching up and the volcano blowing over. Responsibilities and expectations. And what it is you're being called to not go be irresponsible. I don't think Spirit's ever going to tell you to go be an irresponsible person. That would make no sense at all. But those expectations, the shoulds, I have to, it's like I'm being called back to this. It's sort of like, well, I'm supposed to follow this path because that's the trail that was marked and that's what's on my map. But some of you are seeing other paths that you could take that might not be on the map that you had started out with. Do we have another clarifier that can help with this? I feel like a few of you still are not quite sure if this is jiving with what is going on in your situation. So let's get a few more to kind of like make sure those watching know whether or not this is their reading. Because if it's not your reading, don't make it fit if it's not. Trust your intuition. I feel like I have a lump in my throat. This communication card here. Yeah, there are definitely some difficulties with communication. Wise one, grow within your current situation. Okay, and what this is, you're not that far different than the first deacon of Virgo, I feel like. So you may actually want to check that out too. Where you are right now, this is a slow growth, and I have a feeling for all the Virgos, you're doing a slow growth, a slow transition, a step-by-step transition, where you're going to have to start where you are. There's no big, huge jump over to something else. There's no catastrophic towers, sudden upheavals, anything like that that's coming through at all. This is really a planning. The word methodical came through, but I say that in a positive light, not in a negative connotation, but a very clear, well-organized, step-by-step plan. And that's, the wisest path is the one that you think I want to say you've thought out each step, but at the same time I was saying that sort of like they also need to trust intuition and look for better guidance, connect better with spirit so that you see the signs as you're walking on this different trail. Kind of, you need to find each of the guideposts and trail markers that Spirit's going to give you. We also have winter, take care of your needs. Now this is also saying one is to, okay, how do I want to put this? Because it's, nobody's going to want to hear what I'm about to say. This is really just, I'm going to tell you right now, this is not what anybody wants to hear. If you're looking for everything's fantastic, feel good, you're going to win the lottery tomorrow reading, I'm not going to give you that crap. I'm going to give you whatever the cards give me. And what the cards in Spirit are giving me right now with this take care of your needs is a part of why this transition will be taking time is because, you still have to pay the rent, pay the mortgage, buy the groceries. You still have, yes, responsibilities that you need to show up for. You can't just ditch all of your responsibilities and jump track to somewhere else. So it's a time where, whatever changes that you're going to make, and everyone's path is going to be different because you all have your own gifts, your own personality, your own path from Spirit that you were given and put on this earth for. So I'm not going to be able to tell you each specific person what you're going to do. It's a general reading. But you're going to have to balance out I'm gradually going in this direction. I'm finding out the direction I want to go. I'm seeing how I can make that happen step by step. But at the same time, I'm not necessarily, where it's saying, grow within your current situation. I'm still keeping the job that I have. I'm still staying in the house that I'm in. Or if some of you are in a process already of a job transition or a move, that's still going to happen. That's still the way it's going to be. And you're going to be taking care of those needs as you work out the plan. And I was just told it takes a lot more clarity for what you're trying to achieve and what you want to head to next before you can really start to make the major alterations in your current living situation. So that's a real big part of the message is, like, I know nobody wants to hear that. You want to hear, like, all the answers are going to show up tomorrow and things are going to be great next week, by the end of the month, you're going to be in the happiest place ever. This is just real. This is just real, okay? And for a lot of you, what it is you're still trying to define and clarify. And the reason why it's not an abrupt, sudden thing is, I'm going to pull these cards back up, is you want to make sure this is going to lead to your Six of Wands. And there are a lot of things that could seem tempting, but you've got to balance the practicality of them. Now, this isn't saying you don't have a Six of Wands out there where you're going to celebrate, and a Knight of Wands where you are going to be in your bliss. It is totally out there. There is a path that leads to that. But for most of you, what I'm getting is there's a lot of sparkly things there. And then you have the doldrums of your regular life, and you're looking at all the sparklies. But it's going to take a while for you to figure out and understand exactly which of those sparklies is your star and not somebody else's star. It's very important to find your star, your sparkle, what makes you light up and glow. Because right now, I think a lot of you have a lot of various ideas, but it's narrowing it down to that one true one. And Spirit is, with this solar flare, sending in extra guides and extra support to help you do this. The guide came out. You've got extra guides to help you through this and figure these things out. Okay. Where do you want me to move to next, Spirit? Do we want tips and advice for, kind of how can we help Virgo and the second deacon better, kind of how do we whittle down these options? How can they, what, I don't even know how to word this. There's a real communication thing, and I feel like some of you are even having trouble articulating what it is you want to other people. There's something this card wants to come out. Okay, there's two cards here, and we will get some more clarifiers. Don't worry, I'm told. Okay, at the bottom of the deck, you have show the world the real you. And this is really reaching down to, okay, there's a lot of, for some of you, if it doesn't resonate, don't take it. A lot of you are looking at how other people, and I'm just going to phrase this as in one way, it could be completely different in your scenario. You're looking at other influencers and you're like, oh, well, I could just be like that if I can go that way. And it's like Spirit saying, no. They're doing them. You need to do you. So it's very important to find the path that is going to show the real you, where your gifts that you were meant to bring in here are going to be shining and being able to reach out to the most and fulfill you the most, and in that fulfill others. Meditate and contemplate is some of the advice. Basic advice right there is to sit and be still with yourself and listen to Spirit, listen to your guides, do a journal if you need to, pay attention to your dream. And we have also confidence is key to your success. And immediately when I looked at this card, I heard that one of the clues to where your path is in getting out of like picking which one of these are, where do you feel most confident? You know, where do you feel like you're kind of an imposter? That's probably not where you belong. Where do you really feel like you are in your own skin, you are embodied, you are you have your confidence? That's going to be a big clue as to which path is the path that Spirit has set out for you and will be helping you go on. I got my hand one here, so we're going to pull something here. Can we get any other clarifiers for this group of Virgo? Truth transcends illusion. That's funny. This is sometimes considered an illusion card, the Seven of Cups here. The truth transcends illusions. Okay, so it's really letting go of, I'm going to say this again, it's something you're not going to want to hear. This isn't going to apply to everyone, so don't worry. And it's not a criticism, because we're all guilty of doing this. You know, where we look at someone else's life and it's like, oh, that would be so fantastic. And we're just sort of seeing this really pretty part that they're putting out about their life. We don't really know the crapola on the other side of it. And so it's an alluring thing to be like, oh, if I could just be like that person or that person's persona that they're presenting, that looks great, when I don't really know that things are crappy behind all of that. You know, so it's very important to not get caught up in the illusions, not get caught up in the sparkliness of options that seem really great and fantastic, but you know what? They don't resonate with who you really are, and they don't correspond with your soul's purpose in this life. Is there another card? Thank you, Spirit. And the cards did jump towards my heart, which means there is a need for you to go searching in your heart for the truth. At the bottom of the deck is Swan Spirit, time for a deep dive. This is definitely signaling for you to look inside yourself and not out at what other people's lives are, but look within. What in your heart do you want your life to be like? Letting go of all of like whatever the monetary, whatever the status, whatever all those things are, leave those outside, look inside and find out what's in your heart that you want. That's going to help you find this path. And we have 7, be Spirit. Sweet results await. And there is. I mean, just because I'm saying don't go after the sparkly stuff, the thing is, one of those sparkles is your star, which is way bigger than a sparkle. It's a star, and it's your star. So there will be good results. Okay, is there anything... I'm feeling like there's a card or something. We need to pull something to say... which way not to go. Like, I just feel like there's a question. Some people are like, how do we know, like, okay, I'm looking at this. Is there something in here? Is there anything we need to know? This is with the advice. We kind of got a lot of repetitive information on the finding where to go. Is there anything that you can give us to help this group know where not to look, you know, or what to avoid? Thank you. Okay, the 10 of Wands. And this is like things that feel like a burden. And I'm being warned to tell you that there are burdens behind some of these sparkly things that you're not aware of. That's just the message with that card that needed to be said. Okay, where not to look. 3 of Pentacles. It's just another emphasis on the comparison, the pre-written scripts of how if you do this, this, and this is going to happen. This is really a path that there is no markers on the trail except for the ones Spirit is going to specifically give you. Five of Swords, where not to look. If you're trying to cheat your way to the top, I don't even know why I'm saying this. Spirit, I think this, I think this group knows better than this. This is pretty obvious stuff, Spirit, but I guess you want me to say it just in case. I'm going to say there's just one of you that might need this reminder. Oh, thank you, Spirit. If you're going to be around people who are sneaky and there's a little bit of shadiness in order to follow a path, okay, that's what I'm getting. This isn't directed to you, as you're going to be, some of the options you're looking at are going to make you a kind of shady thief of some kind who tries to skip steps and do dubious things like that. This is for those of you who are thinking of doing stuff with maybe a friend or, just someone else or an organization or something that just kind of is a little underhanded and just, I don't know, got a little sleazy vibe there. That, obviously, if that's one of the sparkles, stay away from that. And the Lovers in reverse. Whatever does not align with your heart. Is definitely something to state. There's some kind of a message that Spirit wants to come through. For those of you who are in a partnership right now, a romantic partnership, if this is something you'd be, I don't want to say ashamed of, because I feel like some of you know what your real thing is and you're ashamed to say it, but there's no reason for you to be ashamed because it's beautiful and the people who love you are going to be thrilled about it. But if the thing that you're coming up with and your loved ones, not even necessarily a romantic partner, are kind of letting you know, it's but isn't there a little bit something not too ethical there? I mean, Virgo, you know your rights from wrongs. So it's really unusual to see you in a position where you would be juggling different temptations to do things. This is strange. So this is, for a lot of you, a place you haven't really felt you've been in before. And this is a confusion you're not used to. Because you usually know very well what's the right, what's the wrong, and the ethical. Okay, I'm gonna just hop in here and be this may not be for all of you, but let me know. I'm asking if there's other people involved in some of these sparkles and what we need to know. Okay. For those of you who kind of have somebody maybe pressuring you to join them in something, we do have Spy Master, Knowledge, and Distrust. So there is a bit of a caution. So it doesn't mean everybody watching this, if you're starting a new project or trying to take a new path with somebody on especially a career path or financial gain path, doesn't necessarily mean that. But for those of you this resonates with, you already have kind of a suspicious, something in your gut just says something isn't right here. And it's saying, yeah, whatever this is, that might not be one of the paths. That's truth transcends illusion. You need to find the truth in that and we have that came out reverse. It's the aspirant, ambition, diligence, and setbacks. With this card, there's something for some of you where it's too overly ambitious to the point of it's not even practical to work out. And this, again, we're talking if this is you involved with other people starting some kind of project and you kind of already have the gut feeling. If you don't already have the gut feeling that it's I just don't see this adding up. But it would be great if it did. Do your investigation, trust your intuition. I can't give you any kind of medical, legal, career, or anything like that advice. I'm not a professional for that. I just read energies. So I want you to just take that as your intuition tells you, but I felt like something about that needed to come out. Now, to the good part, because I feel like I've just given you like the rottenest reading you've heard in a long time. You know, you don't come to these things to be like, what? You're not helping me. You're just making me feel like crappy about the situation and everything that's going on. That's not the point. We're going to get to the good stuff. I'm going to have a sip of coffee. We're going to get to the good stuff. Hang in there. Really good coffee. Really good coffee. I'm drinking it. I make coffee, and when I sit down to do the readings, and I always tell myself I'm not going to have coffee. I'm just going to drink water and be really natural with this. And I keep making coffee, but then by the time I get through a reading, it's gone cold. And I'm like, oh, well, no, my coffee doesn't taste good because it's gone cold. All right, good stuff to come out. All right, here you go. Let's get to the good part. Come on, we got to get to the good part. Because you have the energy coming in and the extra guides coming in to navigate you so you don't go down the wrong path. So that you know, Spirit has a beautiful path for you where your gifts will be most needed, and you will be, you know, in this Six of Wands where you will feel like the Knight of Wands, and it is for the highest good of all, this path that Spirit's trying to get you to go on. So it's there. There is a good one there. It's just we looked at a lot of the crappy ones that you might want to avoid. But the good one is there. And you got to work with Spirit and your connection with Spirit and trust your intuition to know which one's going to be that one that's for you. I was pointed out to say meditate and contemplate. Back to that one. So you have, you know, as you get through this process and you find it out, where does it lead you to? It leads you to Pegasus. Break free, dear one. Spread wide and far. For you aren't containable. You are limitless. Okay, you're not going to feel constrained. This is actually opening the world for you. This is a path to where the world opens up for you. You do have an awesome reading, actually. I mean, I'm not going to give you good news unless it comes through. I mean, I'm going to point out in this card, just you see how much darkness there is in these beautiful light wings. There is this sort of like you're just trying to find your way in the dark, but at the end, just like break free, dear one, spread wide and far, for you aren't containable. You are limitless. And this path that Spirit is going to help guide you to, the energy, the joy, the abundance, it is limitless for you because it is what you're destined to do and what your gifts have been given to you to bring you into this world, and you're being guided now to where those gifts are most needed. And Spirit is sending in the extra energy, sending in the extra guides to help you get through this. I am going to say lunar cycle or solar cycles last approximately 11 years. So these are not quick turnaround things. And I'm not saying you have to wait 11 years for this to happen. Okay. But like think in terms of 11 weeks to 11 months to really get through to this process to where you are, you know, after a year from now, you're going to be over here. If you choose to follow Spirit and follow the path Spirit gives you. If you opt for something that sparkles, but your gut still kind of thinks might be sleazy, you're not going to be happy over here. That's why you're being given this right now, because you've got options, but Spirit wants you to take the option that you were meant meant to go on here. I feel like I need one more card from this deck. Can we get one more card about outcome here? Thank you, Spirit. Creation. Oh, it's one of my favorite cards in this deck. It's the Spirit of the Witch Beltane, I believe is the name of it. Where I don't have its box over here. Okay. Yeah, it's the witch's spirit. The witch's Beltane. The Witch's Beltane or something. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I can't remember that. Anyway, this is such a beautiful card. It's Creation, card number 6. Through the darkness I crossed, and still I found myself in the presence of life. This is, and here we are back at a tree. Look where we started. We started with the trees. You know, something is taking root in this process that is going to grow into something so solid, so strong, that reaches to the sun, just reaches up to the sun. Okay, do we really need a clarifier on anything here? Or do we just head to, I feel like I'm being called to this. So there's something in the outcome that we can look forward to. We have 7 of Wands. And this is actually quite a beautiful, especially with the imagery in this one. This is not you in fight mode against anything. This is you, you know, we had 7 of Cups here. You found your wand. You found it, and you can fight off these confusing wands because you have found your inner peace. You have trusted your intuition. You are connected with spirit. You are on your path. These wands cannot touch you. These paths that were not meant for you to head at this time, they can't touch you. It's beautiful. And at the bottom of the deck, you have the 10 of Wands, which means this long journey ends. It was tough. It was difficult. I am not going to, you know, I know I said a lot of things you didn't want to hear in this. They weren't comforting. They didn't make you feel good. I didn't give you a lot of nurturing in this reading. And I feel bad for that. I do feel bad for that. Oh, I felt like there was just not a lot of nurturing. But you're learning to nurture yourself and your spirit and your own intuition and your own gifts so that you can go on your own path. There's something very important about you're learning to nurture yourself and grow what is truly yours to grow. Okay, we'll get one closing card from the Wisdom's Oracle to end this reading out. The Spirit, can we have one card to close the reading, please, for the second Deacon of Virgo? I just feel like this card here wants to come out. What do we got here? Go the distance. It's gonna be a distance you have to go. And you're going to be given the strength to have the endurance to really go the distance. Why is this card kind of coming out? Thinker, I'm being told don't completely overthink everything into a state of like the 9 of Swords state. Don't worry. Please don't do that. Spirit's saying no. You don't have to overthink. You're going to feel it in your gut. Listen for spirit instead of getting in the anxiety, confusion, sleepless nights modes. Listen for spirit. Listen for spirit's guided. Go to your meditations. You know, remember what gives you confidence. Okay. And I always like to look at the bottom of the deck to see what might be lurking under the surface. Fork in the road. Look, there's all the signs we were talking about. Spirit's going to tell you which sign is yours to follow. And it's going to give you these signs all along this path. Okay. It's beautiful. I mean, and We started out with the, like, here's your opportunity if you choose to accept it. Spirit is giving you an option that is absolutely amazing and will bring you to such a gorgeous place. And you have a lot of options on the table. It's up to you to connect with Spirit, however, whatever vocabulary you use, God, the universe, goddess, whatever. I mean, I use certain language for things. It's all the same stuff. We just have different words. But yeah, you're given an opportunity to grow in a new direction. And I think grow is very important because this will be a nurturing and a growth process in this direction. And it's all of the guides, the energy, and Spirit's assistance is here for you so that, you know, let's turn this thinker card over. You don't need to be up in your mind all about everything. You can trust Spirit to give you the guidance. Okay, well, I'm sorry I didn't give you the most nurturing of reading. I'm sorry if it was a little lectury. If it resonated, let me know in the comments. Give the video a like. You do have a sub-ruling sign of Capricorn. So if you're kind of, I mean, I know we have this, and you might be kind of looking for more directions. You might want to check out the Capricorn reading, see if there's information there, check your other placements, do what you're guided to do. There's a link in the description box below for all of the readings, all of the signs in this particular reading. So if you want to hop over to that sub sign that you have of Capricorn, you can find that link to the playlist so you can easily find Capricorn there. I wish you the best, and I know this isn't easy. The confusion will not last forever. There is light coming through. Okay, the light is coming through to you. It's so important. Spirit wanted me to make sure you understood the light for you to see your way is coming through. It's just a matter of learning to open your eyes and see it and connect with that light to know your path. All right, I'm going to end it there, and I wish you the best. Thank you for letting me read for you, and I hope to see you in another reading. If you'd like to get notifications, go ahead and subscribe. Other than that, enjoy the journey. Hi there, Virgo, pile number 3, or the third deacon of Virgo, which is degrees 21 through 30, and birthdays approximately September 14th through the 22nd. Kind of feeling like a slow moving, gotta be soft here. I don't know why, just kind of getting that vibe for you. And for you guys, it's your sign is obviously Virgo. All of these Virgo readings are for Virgo. But for the third deacon, you have a sub-ruling sign of Taurus. So if you're called to take a look at the Taurus reading, go ahead and do that. We are going to get into what this solar flare has brought in to help you make a big change in your life, if you choose to make the change. Because we all have free will, so this is an optional change, but you're given extra energy, extra guides, and extra support from Spirit if you choose to make the change. And for those of you who chose by the charm, you have the angel watching over you. It sounds like you've got a lot of extra angels. I'm going to point this out, and we'll get in the cards real quick. Don't worry. I have this really cool compass ring, and it's a compass. I don't know if you can see this. I'm going to waste way too much time, and you're all going to be like, what on earth is she doing? By the way, I'm Kirsten. I'm a clairsensitive reader, so I pick up on the energies of pretty much everything and all of my senses to do the readings. And the cards basically keep me from going too far off course with my ADHD. But it's like, I love this ring. It's a gorgeous ring, right? And I love compasses because I'm navigationally really lost. But I took a break between the second deacon and reading for your third deacon pile here. And in the process, the compass broke off of my ring. So some of you might be feeling a little lost right now. Okay, we'll get into your cards. You've, like, for the one person who sat through all of that, okay, you'll get that stuff from me. It's just, that's the way I am. If you like it, that's great. If you don't, there are plenty of other readers out there. Don't worry. So for the first card, we have this from the Past Life Oracle. It is the Orphan card. Generally with this deck, I don't pay too much attention to the word on the card. It's really the image in it that seems to have the most impact. And this card, believe it or not, I think it's come out for almost every sign that I've done so far, which is like 5 of the signs so far. It's a pretty big theme that I think is just kind of must be going on. We do go through those phases where it's sort of like everybody's feeling the energy of something. And if you're into astrology, you'll understand that there's certain impacts that are kind of like they hit everybody. All right, let's look at your tarot cards from the Light Seers Tarot. We do have the Hierophant, the Devil, and then we have the Empress. And what I'm really getting from this is with this card, the way the person is I can't get the word out, portrayed. There's something about a betrayal. Some of you experienced a recent betrayal. By someone, or this is specific to some of you, it's not for all of you. As we get into the reading, I'll connect with more energy. So if you don't hear something immediately that resonates, don't worry about it. There's many more messages to come as we go through all of this. And there'll be more energies that I connect with. But for this, I'm going to say this, and I don't want to say it in a negative way, because I have actually done this myself. What I heard from Spirit was betraying your gifts by neglecting them. And Spirit, what more do you want me to say on that? I've personally done that. That is not at all in any way a criticism. It is nothing you should feel bad about or ashamed of. It is something perfectly natural for us to do at some points in our life. And for some of us, our gifts we're often told aren't gifts, and things are that we're not supposed to do or aren't, appropriate for society or something like that. Or just, if you have a spiritual gift, like if you're good at premonitions, if you're able to communicate with spirits who have crossed, like those kind of gifts, like most of us are told they're evil, they're bad, so we suppress them. So, and sometimes if you're really great at art or writing, I writing is my thing, and I know my whole life growing up, and it took a couple decades before my family was like, oh yeah, you should write, you're good at it. But the rest of my life, they were always saying, writers don't make money, you need to find something else. Like, so suppressing a gift, and it came across as like, the betrayal part, I think, though, is how you feel inside, is like, you almost feel like you're betraying yourself. It's that same emotional response we'd have if someone had betrayed us, and that hurt feeling. So for some of you, it is that feeling of a gift you have that you're recognizing you haven't allowed to come out. And I want you to understand that this is really coming through with all of the signs, with this solar energy that came through, with the solar flare. And it doesn't matter when you're catching this. These kinds of energies come through all the time. They don't have to just come through a solar flare. But Spirit will come in with extra guides, extra energy, and additional support, and even more signs and signals when it's working harder, and it's going to work double time to help you transition from one way of living, one way of thinking, one way of being into another. So if that kind of resonates with you, and it could be simply there's something you're doing in your life, whether it's a line of work, how you're a lifestyle that isn't really aligned with you, that you've just sort of done just because that's what you do. This is that calling to change it now, and that you're given extra support to do it. And when I look at these, I am looking at someone who has, on a spiritual level, I'll put it on a spiritual level. This can apply to anything 3D. It doesn't have to be a spiritual gift, but I'll use it in terms of that because it's the easiest way for me to express what's coming through. A lot of you have an amazing gift that you were given from Spirit. And there was a point in your life, probably when you were really young, that's how it goes with most of us, when we're really little kids and we haven't been battered down by what the world tells us we can and cannot do and should and shouldn't be. You had this, but there's been so much that's come between it. It almost feels like a toxicity that's blocked you and pushed this away. And you can't get into that Empress place. You feel like, I'm going to say I'm being corrected by Spirit. You've been in a position where you feel like you don't know how, or you can't get, or maybe it's gone and you won't be able to ever get that back. And step into that Empress energy. Ignore the gender. It doesn't really have any bearing on energy. So just into the Empress energy, that sense of creation, of birth, of owning and embodying one's own powers and gifts. There's something that's come in between. And that's kind of the position that I'm sensing a lot of you have been in. And you can translate this not into spiritual, but into career, into a relationship, however it resonates for you. And if none of it resonates, don't force it. There may be more in this message that's definitely worth you hearing, so you might want to stick around for that. More will come out as I connect more energies. But what I'm getting from this is you're actually getting a lot of help, support, extra guides, and energy, so that this thing that's come between what you knew you used to have a while ago and you thought just got trampled and taken away, you still have it. It's a returning to that gift, a returning to that more joyful, more things flowing so much easier, feeling more comfortable in your skin again, and just feeling like yourself again. Okay, so this is what Spirit is going to help you push out. We're going to pull some clarifiers. I feel like we need to go to this deck here. Can we get some clarifiers on the situation that, for Virgo, that you're, Spirit, you're helping them transition out of if they'd like to? I'm taking these three. I don't know just yet at the bottom of the deck. At the bottom of the deck, you have She-Wolf, Unleash the Wild Within. This is definitely a lot about, for most of you, it is going to be what you have inside that you've just stuffed down and said, it wasn't worth, I wasn't supposed to. It's those gifts, those jewels, that beautiful part of you, it's still there. It's all inside of you. You have not lost any of it. It's just Spirit is now going to help you better bring that out for you to experience and have your own joy and pleasure from being you, the authentic, genuine you, and having access to your authentic true self and your gifts. But also when we bring our gifts into the world, we have these gifts from Spirit. Spirit wants these gifts in the world, knows that they're needed in the world. So not only are we happier when we give these gifts that Spirit has given us, we're helping Spirit do something greater by sharing that gift. Okay, and wise one, grow within your current situation. And I think the second group got this card also. There is, for Virgo, it really seems like this is a growth process. This is not, we're not talking tower moments. We're not talking overnight changes. It's really a time to grow into a more authentic, free-spirited self where you can express who you are without fear, without feeling restrained in your expression. So you will be growing from where you are and expanding from there. You also have which is be the light. And you are going to become your own light. Again, it just, look at the light up here. You had this light and you knew you had this light at some point in your life. And for those of you who thought this light was gone, it's not. It's still within you. And you're being called now to let that light in you shine again, and shine so that others can even see it. So that when you look in the mirror, you see that light in you again. And when others see you, they're going to see that light. And you're getting extra help to go through the steps that you need to be able to do that. And then we had this stack of cards come out over here. We're going to go through real quick. We've got trust your instincts, animal guardian, and hold the space. Hold the space is the card for me where it says, I'm going to set my energetic boundaries and I'm going to choose what I allow in, and I'm going to choose what I don't allow in. And this is also holding the space for your own light to shine and choosing who you're going to give your energy to. Is it being used up and drained by this? Then no, I'm not going to give it there. I'm going to give it here where I feel like it's always replenished, because that, when it's always replenished, that's Spirit's way of saying you're giving your gifts, you're giving your energy to where it's meant to go. Oh my goodness, look at that one. Yeah. Shapeshifter. Transform and unveil your gifts. Okay, I'm going to say, I don't think Spirit could make it any clearer for you right now. Your gifts are in there, and right now, Spirit so wants you to go through this growth process, to let Spirit help you go through this growth process so that you can truly unveil your gifts. That's what you were brought here for. And Peacekeeper, a harmonious resolution is possible. And this, we mentioned kind of a little briefly, like not feeling like yourself, or with this card, it's saying there's no reason to shame yourself for ever hiding your gifts. The world tries to make us hide our gifts and put our light out in so many different, just TV commercials, it's everywhere. We're bombarded by things that tell us we don't even have a light inside, let alone, put the light out. We're bombarded by that all the time. So it's important to be gentle and kind with yourself and not criticize yourself for not letting this light shine through all of these other times. It's okay. You're being given this opportunity now. Spirit understands why you weren't shining as bright as you would have hoped to. And it's here, and the support is here now for you, okay? Can we get some advice on how Virgo and this third deacon, or those who chose the angel charm, being told, yes, you've got your angels there helping you too. some advice, just reassurance, I feel like is a word we need to have come out. I feel like these two cards here, perhaps. I always like to look at the bottom of the deck. Nothing is set in stone yet. And this is kind of the card that comes from when it's like, you have the choice. It is up to you. And there's going to be a lot of what you thought was possible and what you didn't think was possible is going to change. So don't think that everything has to be exactly how it's been. It's not set in stone, and things will fluctuate. Things will, how you see things is going to gradually change. And if it changes to you see things one way, and then that gets you a certain step, and then you start to realize you see things a new way, it's growth. So, okay? Also, your hard work is paying off. This is going to be work to do this. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything if it's not what Spirit gives me, but it's going to be worth it. And then, am I really supposed to, a fiery climax approaches? I'm being told Aries. Well, the full moon in Aries. I have no idea when the full moon in Aries is. This is, for some reason, this seems to be a timing card. I don't know if you can hear that, but I think my neighbors next door are doing some play rehearsal. So you may hear some weird sounds. Okay, let me see what else came out. A personal issue reaches resolution. Can you give me a little clarifier here? I'm rather distracted by voices in the other room. And it's very interesting because I know the people next door and most of the people that come there, so I know their normal voices. They're not using their normal voices. They're role-playing something and exaggerating stuff. And I don't know if that's a part of the message or not. Okay, we have 6 of Cups to help clarify. What is this? Fiery climax approaches and personal issue. There's something very jumpy about this card. It's a very jumpy card. This card wants to come out. This unbalanced is coming to an end, Oh. There's something in here. For some of you, you're trying to balance two things and keep a balance between them. And what Spirit's trying to tell me with this card is that these two things cannot be balanced. You have to let one of them go. The one that is not serving your highest good and is not serving the highest good of all. So one of these, some of you, it's not for everyone, some of you, you've got something you need to you're going to have to drop. And I'm being told that might be the fiery climax, because whatever it is that you have to drop, it might not be, people expect you to take care of this thing or be there for this person or, take it how it resonates. This is a general reading. Don't have the most pinpoint details, but the fiery climax for some of you is that, what is beneath that? The 5 of Wands. Yeah, this is going to be something you have to, I want to say fight to let go of. It may be an internal fight with yourself, but, others are not going to be happy when you let go of this thing. And it's not saying, okay, you should start looking for what you need to go let. If you heard that and you kind of already, you already know. Either you knew when we started talking about there's this thing that can't be balanced. If you didn't immediately know what that thing was, or it didn't trigger just some sort of intuitive response in you, then this part of the message is not for you. We've got other stuff in the message that's for you, but this might not be for you. But for those of you who did, yeah, there's a bit of it's a struggle, it's a fight to get this over with. And for some of you, I feel like you are going through a divorce already. There may be still like the custody issues going on, and you're trying to balance and please people in too many ways, and it's just not serving you. So there's some people you just have to stop trying to please and contort yourself to make them happy, and they're not going to like it. And underneath that is the Six of Swords, is just moving away from that situation. That is, for some of you, I don't want everybody to take that like legitimately. Like, you know, the divorce thing, obviously very few of you, might just be for one of you. If you're not already in that process, it is not a prediction of something to come. Okay, we have, all right, this is the card that wanted to wiggle away. It was just kind of like wiggling there going, ugh. Yeah, Ten of Swords is putting the end to something. So there is an issue that needs to be ended. Now we do have the Six of Cups. And so this can be family members. This can just be a past issue that you need closure on. That's given you a limited belief. We do have the Nine of Cups here, which is breaking out of, you know, I just feel like this is the staying in the small for other people's happiness. That's the sense I'm getting with this card, is like, oh, all your cups lead to staying small and making someone else happy, where it's a breaking out, where it's just you and all those cups are yours and you can be joyful. All right. Did you want me to pull anything else on? What is all, I can't talk. Is there anything we need to know with this Ten of Swords, Spirit? Please let us know if there's anything more to know with the Ten of Swords here. The Four of Pentacles. There's a certain security in this situation that isn't helpful for you. That, yeah, it can be very easy. It's like we become comfortable. Even we can get comfortable being miserable. We can get comfortable with our unhappiness. Like, change is never a comfortable thing, even when we're changing to something, you know, that's better or more enjoyable or more pleasurable. So that's just kind of like a reminder there of just letting go of, you know, do I have to have that regular routine? Do I have to have that thing? These are, am I supposed to take these in? That's interesting. We have the Eight of Cups here. This is in reverse. Okay. There is, for this Ten of Swords, what's coming through on this, and it's it may not be your typical way of interpreting these. What it is a spirit what I'm being guided to tell you is, for a lot of you, it is time to stop ignoring your gift. You know, something in you knows there is a better path. There is a better situation. There is something more you have to bring to the world. And it's time to stop settling for this over here. And it's also saying this Ten of Swords, which is putting the end to a miserable situation. In order to do that is basically stop looking at the other people's cups and trying to fill those. Look at how much yours is going to fill you up, and do not walk away from your cup. It's very interesting in this deck that we do not have 8 cups. I'll put it up right. It's 1 cup. And you're seeing the person just walk away from their 1 cup. This is the 1 cup you don't want to walk away from, which is your passion, your fire, your cup. Okay. Now let's move on to some happy stuff. How about that? I'm going to have a sip of coffee here. My throat's starting to get really scratchy. Okay. And coffee's getting cold too. Okay. So some, it's like really weird. Like the words just left me. Like my throat got sore and the words left me. But let's get some. Should you choose to embrace this and let Spirit help you through this process and go through this and make these changes, what is, what's the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow? Okay, can we get a little bit of information? 2 cards want to come out here. Okay. At the bottom of the deck, we do have Maiden. Demand what is yours and take back what was taken. Reclaim until you've gathered all of you. I'm just going to read that one more time. I'm not going to give you any kind of translation or anything from Spirit because it's right there on the card. Demand what is yours and take back what was taken. Reclaim until you've gathered all of you. That is the process that Spirit is working over time, sending you extra guides and energy to do. It's up to you. We all have free will. If you don't want to do this, then the energy only stays around so long. It'll come back again another time, but you don't know what time it'll come around. All right. Some happy stuff about where this heads when you get through this difficult work. And I am going to stop and pause and say the solar cycle is about 11 years. And that's at the end of the cycle is when we get these big solar flares. And again, it's a timeless reading. Whenever you get it, you get it. But that is not to say it's going to take you 11 years to get out of this and go through this process. But think in terms of like 11 weeks, 11 months over the course of the next year is really the trajectory and time frame for this process to really go through, because there's a lot to go through, and it's a growth process, which means it doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen too rapidly. Just like when you plant a seed, it takes a while to grow. We have Maypole for where you're headed after this process, where you go. I am fertile in what I seed, for there is reason to dance and drink upon the riches I receive. And I feel like I'm reading to a group of people, or reading for a group of people who's like, I have planted so many seeds, I have given so much, and like nothing comes back to me. I am too tired to dance. But this is, and I'm doing this reading in May, and it is Maypole, and we just talked about a year, the 11 months kind of thing. So for a lot of you, yes, by next May, you'll be able to cycle through this and get to the part where you really feel better. And I hate to say, like, you're not going to feel better tomorrow, but you can feel better tomorrow. It's you're going to feel better and better and better. It's going to be ups and downs, I'm being told. But yeah, it's, I am fertile in what I seed, for there is reason to dance and drink upon the riches I receive. You're going to be able to receive what you're meant to receive. And you're going to be giving what you're meant to give. And that's why you're receiving what you good things, is when you give your gifts to the right places and the right people, you receive beautiful gifts in return. You have sacrifice. You must find the ebb and flow of life within your very self. Embracing it all is embracing truth. And this is just understanding that, being able to look back at this without shame, without regret, wherever you were when you hid those gifts, it's knowing that it's all just a part of life's cycle. There's not going to be any regret for any of these situations that led into the position where this journey was necessary to take to bring you back to your light and letting it shine. When you get through this, understand that there will be absolutely no reason for you to feel ashamed, to feel bad, to want to be kick yourself in the butt that you didn't do it sooner. Spirit's coming now to do it because now's the time. It knows. It knows. This is the time. You're ready for it now. And there were things you may have had to experience and learn before Spirit knew you would be able to embrace this at this time. So any negative feelings you may have about yourself, about getting into this situation or not doing more, don't worry. Those are all bogus. And you're going to definitely know that because life goes in cycles. Okay, we're going to get one last oracle card from the Wisdom's Oracle. And what do you have for our Virgo third deacon, please? One card. I don't want a stack of cards. Come on. Come on. We don't need a stack of cards. 1111 as those cards flew out. We do not need a stack of card, but I'm being told to take the bottom one. Okay, that's what they're telling me to do. The bottom and the bottom. Okay, so at the bottom in the 1111 is time to go. It's just time to leave this situation behind. And you have happy, which, yeah, it's you deserve to be happy. And it's time to go on this journey here. Leave whatever situations, false beliefs, and crapola behind and be where you can be happy. Okay. Is there anything else? I'm being called to pull a card from here. Is there really a card in here for this group, Spirit? I don't trust. Sometimes I just don't trust. For some reason, I have the deck upside down. Okay, you're not going to feel like the sleeper anymore. And we have the founder, foundations and community. You are changing up your foundational platform that you're building your life on and the community that you're surrounding yourself. And that's really going to make a huge, huge difference. I just feel like there was one more that wanted to come out of here. I know this reading's already going a little long. The brawler. Lack of empathy and confrontation. This is what you're putting an end to. You know, it's just... There's so much to be optimistic about. It's unbelievable. And, you know, my heart goes out to you for having been in this situation for however long you've been in it. We go through these things, been through them too. It's always difficult. And the coming out of that situation, it's going to have its moments that are good. It's going to have its moments that are bad. But, you know, You've got the support from Spirit and your guides and your angels. If you need to reach out for support from friends, community, or professionals, absolutely make use of everything that's available for you. You deserve all the support and love that is available in this world. So if you need to reach out for those things, go for it. And wow, in a year, you're going to be amazed. Going to really be amazed at how much it just seems like you're living on a different world, in a different world in a year. It is a beautiful reading. I know it's a tough journey, but the hardest journeys usually lead to the best places. I wish you the best of everything. I send you my love. And I hope to see you again in another reading. Take care. If you want a little extra clarity, your subsign is Taurus, or you can check out any of your other placements. But till then, take care.